what really gets my dick hard is...
So fucking what?
Welcome to Metal Up Your Podcast, episode 19. I'm Ethan Luck.
And I'm Clint Wells.
And this week we are talking about Death Magnetic. Jumping ahead a little bit. And it's become one of my favorite Metallica records, all audio issues aside.
Well, like some of the other records that I hadn't spent a lot of time with, I've been digging in real deep these last few days. And God damn it, this record is awesome.
It's so good. It really is.
I was even texting Ethan yesterday. I just texted you, I think, All Nightmare Long. Whoa!
Yeah, totally.
Damn.
I read your enthusiasm.
Well, the first 5 tunes out of the gate are so good that I usually just burn those, and I hadn't spent a ton of time on the back half, but man, there's a couple of moments that we'll get into it, but pound for pound, dude, this record kicks ass.
I agree. But before we get into all that stuff and the track by track and all the facts and stuff, we're going to go through the next round of pick winners and read some emails, and then we'll get into it. So right out of the gate here, our next round of pick winners, for those of you who don't know, if you left a positive review on iTunes, you win a set of Metal Up Your Podcast picks, plus a pick of me and a pick of Clint.
Woohoo!
Woo! So we sent out the first 10 last week, and people are starting to get them and post pictures, which is really cool. So if you're a winner, you get them in the mail. Post a picture on Twitter, Instagram, and we'll repost it. And it's exciting stuff.
And then you can repost our reposting of it.
And we'll just keep reposting back and forth.
Just literally forever.
Yeah, until Twitter says, no, delete that.
Stop, please stop.
Okay, so our next round of pick winners, Chelsea Bowen.
Which I know Chelsea. I've met her on the road in my travels.
Oh, nice.
So what's up, Chelsea? Thanks for checking out the show. All
right, our next one is Bat OKC Thunder,
which I think that's our Brady Trantham. That's our Oklahoma Thunder guy.
Yeah, he has the Oklahoma Thunder podcast.
Right.
And then we got Phantom Lord 03, Old Soul 79, our friend Paul Moak.
Hey, Paul.
Next one is The Devil Wears Prada. I don't think it's the actual band, but if it is...
or the film. It's not the band or the film.
Yeah, or the film, yeah. It's actually Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway. What if Anne Hathaway was just a huge fan of the show?
Oh, Anne, you are welcome to come on the show anytime you want.
Anytime.
Because I know you're listening.
Of course she is.
All right, next one is Burnside, who is our friend from ToneTubbySpeakers.com.
Oh, okay, right on.
I like this screen name, Suck a Preview Form. Suck a Preview Form
it's
is
like when they're asking you...
Pine...
Never
What's
mind.
That?
I mean, what's a Suck a Preview Form? What is that?
I don't know. Hey, man, this is America. This is Earth. You can choose your own screen name.
This is America? This is Earth.
This is Earth. On Earth, we believe in freedom, man.
That's right.
Maybe not everywhere. Our last two, Pine Pig and Greg Y.
Okay.
You 10 are the next round of winners of the Metal Up Your Podcast Ethan Clint pick collection.
If you just heard your name read, you need to send us an email with the subject pick contest with your address or the address of where you work or a P.O. box, and we will get these picks in the mail to you soon.
Correct.
Super soon.
Yeah. And let's get into some emails.
All right, so like we mentioned, I think on our last 2 episodes, we're just going to we're going to select 10 emails. We're starting to get a lot more a week than 10, but we're going to select 10. So first one is from Luis Lima, who says, "Hello, Met Podcast family." Hello.
Wait, no, redo that.
Hello, Met Podcast family.
Hello, David.
I'm Luis Lima from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and I discovered your podcast this week on Metallica Forum. I really like it. Just listened to 2 episodes in a row. Congrats. He's telling us congrats.
Hey.
All right, thank you. Nice stories in the first episode about James at the airport and Clint at the Metallica gig, the show I saw in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'm a musician, and Metallica influenced me just as he did for you. Thanks for sharing your Metallica knowledge. Now back to listen to the rest of the episode. 16 to come. Best wishes. All right.
Very cool, Luis. I've been to Rio, and it's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Just hold on to your shit.
Really?
Oh, yeah,
Beautiful but rough.
Beautiful but rough. Yeah, there's like little gangs of kids that'll come steal your shit. It's
Oh my God.
It can be a little scary, but we were in a cool area, and I didn't really carry anything on me. So
Yeah.
all right, our next email is from Brian C. Hey guys, heard about the show from the Podcast Rock City show. Very
Nice,
cool.
nice.
It's working. I dig it so far. Just finished episode 2 while listening over a few days. I didn't turn my text or my sound off.
Oh my gosh, you're fired.
So unprofessional.
Get out.
Delete Ethan. Anyways, just finished episode 2 while listening over a few days. This reappeared in my Facebook feed. Also in episode 2, you guys discussed Am I Evil being removed from some releases. I've always heard it was because of publishing rights. He's probably correct. It was a cover song. Like they didn't have proper approval to release here in the States to begin with. Know anything about that? Well, keep up with the great shows, and I'll try to catch up. Thank you for your time, Brian Chambers.
Do you know anything about that? I don't.
I think the only thing I could guess is that, it was a cover song. Maybe when they did the first pressings of Kill 'Em All, it was on there. Mm-hmm. And when they started getting popular, and maybe when they went from, Megaforce to Elektra or whatever, at that point when they started re-releasing Kill 'Em All on Elektra, they were like, hey, you guys didn't go through the proper channels to cover this song and give people the proper royalties. But as we all know, that ended up reappearing on Garage Inc. So. But let's be honest. Now it's basically a Metallica song at this point.
Well, and I'm glad they figured it out, because them putting that song on their records has made whoever wrote those songs a lot of dough.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad that all worked out. All right, Joseph Cap says, first of all, I love the podcast and look forward to it every Monday morning. The Torben and Dave impersonations crack me up.
You're welcome.
Well, you're welcome. The problem
Hello,
is,
kindness.
The problem is I just don't know what else Dave Mustaine would ever say.
You just have to say other things in that voice.
Really?
Thanks, Joseph. You know what I mean?
Wow. But then he has that other voice when he's talking about Lars and some kind of monster. He's like, well, I just miss my little Danish friend. And he has like these two speeds, man. Hello. And, well, my little friend.
You're correct.
He says, I work some long hours, so I've recently been listening to old episodes of the show. That's cool. It's cool to hear how the show's slowly evolved to where it is now. From what I see on the forums, I bet you could fill an episode with viewer mail and call-ins, just an idea. Yeah, we do that. If we have like a top 10, we'll do kind of like a fan episode, which we got one of those coming up, by the way. We're going to read a lot of you guys ranked their records and some of the Kirk Hammett's top 5 solos. That was super fun, by the way. A lot of cool submissions on that. He goes on to say, I'm also looking forward to the Justice and Gear episodes. I sent a Facebook message a while back about getting into guitar. I think Clint answered it. I bought a black ESP EC1000 and quickly fell down a rabbit hole researching gear. Very cool, man.
Nice.
Congrats.
It was probably me that responded because Clint's not on Facebook.
He says he thinks it was me, dude. And even though I'm not on Facebook, it's entirely possible that somehow I did it.
You deleted Facebook.
I did, dude. I'm Facebook free, brah.
Nice.
He ends his email by saying, keep up the great work and I look forward to future episodes. If I'm ever passing through the Nashville area, or if you ever come to Little Rock, I'd gladly buy you guys a beer. Dude, I hope we're like
we have a lot of beer waiting for us.
I know, dude. If we just keep like tabs on all this, we're going to have a beer in every city.
I know, it's going to be great. One day we'll take the podcast on the road on a tour, and we'll be getting free beer all over the country.
Love it.
Nothing wrong with that. All right, next email's from Peter Lynch. Hey, Clint and Ethan, just finishing listening to the Kirk Hammett episode. Really cool. I thought from listening to previous episodes that you guys didn't think much of him. You know how we feel.
Yeah.
But you cleared it up this episode by explaining that you guys think he's awesome, but you're frustrated with him, which I can see where you're coming from. I'm not a musician, though. I wish you guys had enough time to do 2 episodes a week. One just isn't enough.
Wow.
I wish we had time to do that as well.
I feel like some weeks it's hard even just to get the one out there.
Yeah, it can be. And there are times where Clint and I are both not on the road for a good long period of time, and we can knock out 2 or 3 episodes in a week just to space it out and, schedule them to release every Monday, stuff like that.
But so it's about to start getting a lot of remote. Like we're doing a remote episode now. I'm out in California, and you're leaving tomorrow for 3 weeks. So
for California, yeah.
I'm just keeping this hotel warm for you.
Yes, thank you.
Just farting in this chair for you.
Perfect.
So you'll know I was here.
Crop dust that whole place for me.
Thanks, Peter, for the email. Yeah, it would bum me out if people got the wrong idea about how we feel about Kirk. We love Kirk Hammett.
Of course, yeah.
Love that dude. Part of loving something, though, is having the courage to criticize it when it needs it. So,
Yes.
Fred Dadema, who we've read some stuff from Fred on the show. Fred says, "Hey, this is Fred from Canada again. I loved the Kirk Hammett show. Just wanted to let you know that because of listening to you guys, I've decided to try something that I've always wanted to do, learn to play guitar. I just got a Yamaha acoustic for my birthday. You guys have inspired me to want to learn. I'm 43 and all,
Nice.
let's see, I want to do nothing else than learn to play for my enjoyment." Oh, he says, so if it's just for my enjoyment, I'll still be happy. Anyways, I'm attaching a pic of me with a guitar, which he did, that I just got tonight. Thank you for doing a great job, and thank you for giving me the desire to learn. Keep up the great job, and I can't wait to hear the next podcast. Cheers.
Man, that is really cool.
Man, I wrote back to Fred. I was like, dude, that just made my day, man. That's so cool. We're changing lives, Ethan.
We're literally changing people's lives.
One Dave and Torben at a time.
No, that is really cool. I mean, I know how excited I was when I first started learning guitar, and I've told people over the years of touring and meeting different folks and stuff, you're never too old to start that kind of thing.
100%
You know what I
agree.
mean?
100% agree.
If you want to get into bass or drums or singing or whatever, it's like, fuck it, just do it. Get into it, you know?
And here's the thing about learning an instrument is like it's just something you can do anytime. It's something. There's nothing as rewarding as being able to sit down and play your favorite music with the records, or to play the intro to Fade to Black and it kind of sounds like it. Like, and that's stuff you can always do, you know. So it's worth the investment. I will say that, you know, the first few years of learning an instrument are really tough. You really have to hang in there and don't get discouraged. It gets a lot better once you kind of get some of it under your belt, right? Like my first few years were pretty rough, but
yeah, same here. Your hands are sore.
Right.
Developing calluses on your fingers, all that stuff.
But at some point, you sort of turn a corner a little bit, and then it's kind of off to the races. So good luck, Fred.
Yeah, and look how good Clint and I are now.
Oh my God!
I mean, we're.
Have you seen the latest edition of Guitar World magazine? It's got me.
We
on
are
it.
not in it. All right, next email comes from Jay. I think you might say it Kyo.
Kyo.
I think it's Kyo. Maybe you can write it and explain how you pronounce your last name. But hey, Clint and Ethan, first off, I love the podcast and obviously love Metallica. But I was one of those guys that felt betrayed when the Black Album came out. Metallica were gods and could do no wrong. I got onto him when Ride the Lightning came out, bought Puppets and Justice without ever hearing a song. The first four are not just my favorite Metallica albums, but my top 4 albums. I remember hearing Enter Sandman on the radio before the Black Album hit and thinking, okay, good song, but something's a little off. I bought the album, of course, heard Sandman, heard the next song, then listened to the first minute of each of the rest of the songs, then pulled the tape out of the cassette and threw it in the trash.
Strong.
I did that with Saint Anger. Great show, keep it up, and if you go to the Atlanta show, hopefully I'll see you there. Jim, steamroller action on the Metallica forum. Steamroller action.
So,
are you a steamroller operator? I mean, he could be.
Or just he directs commercials about steamrollers and steamroller action.
Yeah. Action.
So this is
and
so
go ahead and steamroll something.
and go ahead, take 3 of steamrolling things. All right, that was good. Let's try to steamroll it a little differently next.
Can we go a little slower?
Let's do a little slower this time. Thanks. What's my motivation?
Can we put the copy of the Black Album underneath that steamroller, please?
So we've asked before, like, who are these people out here who were so bummed by that record? And I guess we're starting to meet these folks.
Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting to me because, I mean, I've always loved that record. I love it even more the older I get. And I don't know, maybe steamroller action. Maybe it'll grow on him again. I don't know. But
I don't know, dude. It's a long time since 1991 or 92. I think.
Well,
I think the ship might have
96, 97, and I'm discovering Load and Reload.
You know what? That is very true, dude. You're an inspiration.
It's like learning an instrument. It's never too late.
You're an inspiration, bro.
You're the inspiration. Okay. Oh, Peter Cetera's here. Peter Cetera is a really big Metallica fan.
Hey, speaking of earlier when we were joking about how not famous we are as guitar players, so
yeah.
I mentioned on a previous episode that I did that Joe Satriani song at my talent show, but no one got it on video, and like my parents didn't go and stuff. Yeah. I reached out to my boyhood friend who I played guitar with. I haven't talked to him in 7 years, and texted him and said, "Hey man, it's Clint. I hope your family's doing well, and do you by any chance have a recording of us doing that Joe Satriani song at the talent show?" And he wrote back, "Are they doing a behind the music on you?"
Because you're famous.
I said, "Yeah, I fucking wish, man." All right. By the way, we're trying to hunt down that video. So he thinks his dad might have it. Okay. Danny Taylor writes this and says, dudes,
Dudes.
As a bass player, it's the best thing ever to know that you guys are kick-ass musicians that can back up your comments with experience. I hate listening to someone talk about guitar, tone, or musical ability who's never played. It's the worst. This podcast is not that at all. It's like hanging out with some buds, listening to them tell stories about how much Metallica means to them, and at the end of it, it's like, all right, man, see you next week. Hell yeah, bro. Much respect in this area.
Hell yeah, bro.
All right, bro. Love when good old Torb and Dave make a random appearance, and the segments are coming along cool. I can't wait to see how things progress. Neither can we.
Man, that's cool. It's always fun to hear from fellow musicians about, our nerdy musician talk in regards to Metallica.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Hell yeah, bro.
Hell yeah, bro.
See you next week.
All right.
See you next week, Danny Taylor. All right, our next one is from Nick Roller. Nick has written in before. First off, Better Than You. I actually skip this song every time. I listened to it before writing this email, and prior to that, it's been at least 12 years.
Wow.
The chorus is very monotonous. This would be a good example of a time where Kirk's playing is very redeeming when a song otherwise is lacking. But I digress so that I may get to the fucking point. P.S. Love that you read my email in the episode. Donation incoming, which we'll read a few names on that shortly. Waiting on the good old tax return. Thanks, Nick.
Man, thanks, Nick.
Obviously, we're going to disagree about Better Than You. It's a song that has grown on me drastically, and I love it. Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm about to say here. It's just different pizza, different flavor, different fridges.
Different fridges, yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes you got that outside fridge. Sometimes you got a fridge in your garage.
I feel like for Nick, maybe that slice of pizza in regards to Better Than You is in the freezer.
Yeah,
because
so
it's hard. It's hard to eat and digest.
Right. Well, when you haven't eaten the pizza in 12 years, that's going to be a rough slice.
Throw that shit in the microwave, dude. Or if you don't own a microwave like myself, put it in the oven.
What's your deal? You don't own a microwave?
No.
You just is it all stovetop?
Stovetop or oven? Yeah, if I want to heat something up. I just think it's weird, and I feel like they're bad for you.
Okay.
Hurt your brain or something. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right to me to put something in there for 30 seconds and it's piping hot.
I like that you're talking about it morally. It just doesn't seem right.
It's not right, man.
Okay. Is it me? Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Okay. More on the Better Than You train. Darth Leviosa says, why I don't like Grammy Award winning Better Than You.
Sorry, I had to score this one because his name's Darth.
You did it, dude. He says, hello, podcast. You asked for it. Here you go. Because we did ask you to, because I was so flabbergasted that people don't like this song. He said, you asked for it. Here you go. And he kind of gives us a little litany of what he does not like about Better Than You. He says, what's up with the industrial sounding opening noise? Is this Ministry? I actually laughed out loud at that.
And it's pretty funny.
I actually like those sounds at the top. I like that Load and Reload, they were doing some experimental stuff. I think it's what's cool about it.
Yeah, totally.
But I take your point. He says the lyrics are bad. I think that's a pretty objective statement. Can't stop the train from rolling on and on and on. Come on, James. I don't think they're that bad. I really don't.
Hey, have you ever listened to Johnny Cash? I Hear the Train A-Comin'?
You could grab one lyric from almost any song, and
we can agree that it's better than my lifestyle. The lifestyle determines my death style.
Totally. I mean, I get it. It's not like fucking show-stopping poetry, but
right.
I don't know. I there's like a punk element. I don't know. I think Better Than. I don't know. I just think Better Than You kicks ass. All right. The weird vocal effect on the Better Than You call and response is cheesy. It also doesn't help that it repeats approximately 76 times. They do. It's true. It does repeat. And I think he's talking about.
It goes on.
I think he is talking about when it's like Better Than You, and then it's like Better Than You.
Yeah, totally. But it's like a slowed down Dave.
I know, but a slowed down Dave.
Hello, podcast.
Hello, well, I just miss my little Danish friend. Dude, I think for every point this guy makes, I feel the exact opposite. He says the false ending. Well, here's the deal. Better Than You, the idea of the song is this. It's a song about confidence and arrogance, and it's a song about someone who wants to be better than someone.
Right.
So to me, the repetition is sort of reinforcing the theme of the song.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, that may be complete hocus pocus bullshit that I just said, but that's how I feel.
It's hocus pocus.
It's hocus pocus bullshit. He says the false ending is unnecessary since the song just repeats more after it with an extra lead part. Yeah, again, I like it. And then he goes, a second false ending? No.
No, that was way too calm of a no. No.
Oh, he did put an exclamation point. No.
Yeah.
He does, though, which I appreciate this about Darth. He does leave us with 3 positives that he does like about the song. He says the main chorus riff is chugga chugga and pretty cool. Totally agree. Parts of the solo and outro solo are cool. And then he says the Sloppy Joe intro build-up is cool. I love that. Like they do those pick scrapes and like...
Totally. I like that, too.
And the harmonic stuff.
Yep.
I mean, I think we're slowly convincing the Metallica family to fucking get on the Better Than You train, dude.
Get on the load reload train.
Oh wait, just wait for that, man. I'm gonna make believers. I'm gonna make believers even out of this. Who's it up here that threw away their Black Album cassette?
Oh, Steamroller Action.
Steamroller Action. I'm gonna get that motherfucker on board too. All right, our last email.
Last email is from Jack Magnus. Hey dudes, love your Kirk Womit. Wah-wah, anybody? Come on. Kirk uses the wah-wah pedal all the time. I love your Kirk Womit episode or podcast. I definitely agree with a lot of your points about the latest albums as well as Kirk's overall importance to the band, which a lot of people overlook, I feel. Keep up the podcasts, guys.
Thanks, dude.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, we got into that in the last episode. If you haven't heard that one, go back and listen to it. But, of course, Kirk Hammett is so important to Metallica. What he's referencing is... some of the later records, current record, Hardwired, and even some of the load and reload stuff. And there's some great guitar playing on there, but it just, he kind of plays safe and stuff like that. But Death Magnetic, though, he came out strong after getting put on the sidelines in the lead guitar playing department.
I agree, man. Like burning this record down, I guess this is a good segue into the record, but
yeah,
some really strong offerings from old Kirk Hammett. I do like when you said the Kirk Womit joke. You were like, Womit, anyone? Like as if we're like in front of an audience and you're not getting a laugh.
Totally.
Anyway, is this thing on? Is this thing on?
Is this thing on? What is up with wah pedals?
Man, wah pedals in the airport? Crazy.
What is the deal with those wah pedals? Sorry.
Seinfeld just is like at home playing Kill 'Em All like every day.
That would be amazing.
He's like a huge thrash fan.
Totally. Well, right before we get into all things Death Magnetic, I just want to read really quick our latest Patreon pledgers. First of all, we can't thank you enough for pledging. If you guys haven't heard about it, you can go help support the show at patreon.com/MetalUpYourPodcast. Our latest ones we've gotten Nick Roller, Paul Moak, Farouk Ahmet, Kevin Van Dam, Nick Garcia, and Mike Kidwell. Thank you, dudes. Can't thank you enough. It's really, really means a lot to us.
Yeah, man. Thank you, dudes. It's so killer.
It's going to help out with a lot of cool stuff like we've talked about before, like merchandise stuff. We've already obviously done the picks. We just last week ordered patches. So if you got a battle jacket you're putting together for some of these Metallica shows, you very soon could be the proud owner of a Metal Up Your Podcast patch.
And I think we're going to make buttons, too.
Buttons, yeah.
What else are we going to make? You know what we should do? We should just...
Speedos. We probably have, listeners that wear Speedos to the beach. Maybe they want to Metal Up Your Podcast.
I think a lot of our listeners listen as they're just wearing a single Speedo.
I'm recording this wearing a single Speedo.
They're like, shit, it's Monday. I got to get home and put my Speedo on.
Speedo Monday.
It's Speedo Monday, dude. Hey, if you guys have any ideas for Metal Up Your Podcast, like merch or like some kind of cool thing you'd like to see, write into us and let us know. We're open to anything, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Obviously, we're gonna do T-shirts, and I think we're having like a banner made for when we go to the Detroit show.
Yeah.
For the parking lot episode.
What would be cool is bandanas.
Bandanas.
Throw in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Or tie around your neck and rob a train.
God, I was never going to rob a train until I got that Metal Up Your Podcast bandana. Now I feel like I have to.
Amtrak.
Amtrak.
I mean,
what other trains are there anymore?
I don't know. I'm sure there's still steam trains. You got like Colorado and stuff.
There's a Japanese bullet train. Pretty hard to rob that though.
Pretty hard. It moves kind of quick.
You have to go like the speed of light to rob that.
Yeah.
All right. Are we ready to talk about Death Magnetic?
Let's get into Death Magnetic. Yeah. Let's do it.
Man, like I was saying before, if you've been listening to the show, you kind of know that I have not been as immersed in this record as Ethan has, or as many Metallica fans out there who very invariably are more hardcore about them than me. That's all fine.
Yeah.
But damn, dude, I've been loving it.
It's a great record, man. It really is.
I've always loved the front half. Like the front half, I've mentioned this before on the show too. Saint Anger super duper bummed me out when all that happened, and I straight up got off the ride because it was the 1-2 punch of Saint Anger and Jason leaving. Yeah, I just couldn't take it. I couldn't handle it. I admit it. I really couldn't handle it. So for me to get fast forward to 2008, I heard that they were making it with Rick. I obviously had a lot of respect for Rick Rubin, especially what he did with Slayer. I heard they were making a thrash album. So those first 5 songs for me, and they did so many throwback things that we'll get into, but like
for sure,
the intro kind of drama, and then the 4th song ballad, The Unforgiven 3, which harkened back to the Load and Reload stuff.
Yeah,
it was like
an instrumental.
Oh my gosh! So
yeah, I mean they went to old formula. Plus, this was they came back with their old logo. They went back to the old writing formula of just James and Lars. James writing the riffs, Lars arranging, and all that kind of stuff.
I think all 4 of them have co-writes on every song on the record.
Yeah, which is very cool.
But awesome.
I think in general, like it still started with just like Hetfield writing the Hetfield riffs, which it shows. I mean, there's some great guitar stuff on this record,
and honestly, great lyrics too.
Yeah,
James is really digging in on this one. I feel like.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Let's get into a couple things here. I mean, just the stuff that most people know, but we'll get into some facts as well. Death Magnetic was released September 12th, 2008. Recorded March 14th, 2007 through May 22nd, 2008. Recorded at Sound City, Shangri-La Studios, and Metallica HQ.
Cool. Which
is cool. Sound City, I don't know if anyone has seen the Sound City documentary that Dave Grohl produced. Mm-hmm. Really cool documentary if you're into recording or even if you're just into good music. Yeah, it's a really fun one to watch. But yeah, obviously produced by Rick Rubin, mixed by Greg Fidelman and Andrew Sheps. This is the intro of Greg Fidelman, our boy.
I know, man. And I mean, shit, if you've seen that documentary about the making of Death Magnetic, it's kind of like Greg's record, too. I mean...
Yeah. Well, let's be honest. Rick Rubin, where was he?
He's not in that documentary. I mean,
if you guys listening don't know anything about Rick Rubin, I know that like the 80s and like 90s, he was very hands-on with everything he did. His whole deal now, and I have friends that have recorded with him, and they're like, yeah, you don't really see him. He just shows up once a week,
right?
Listens to everything and goes, change that, do that, blah blah blah, delete that, and then that's it, So it's and also too, like I read a quote from Lars where he said Rick's whole approach to recording is like the band comes in with the songs pretty much near 100%. Which is great. That's fine. The band should strive for that.
Well, here's what. Yeah. Well, Rick saw the Saint Anger thing and was like, "We're not doing that. We're definitely not going to be writing a bunch of bullshit in the studio. Like, you guys do the front end work, do the pre-production work." I mean, I will say, man, to Rick's credit, like even if he was just responsible for like setting the tone, is he got them back to classic Metallica. And so...
Yeah, well, he was also the one to say, don't be afraid to go back and like pull from your old records.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I mean,
thank you, Rick.
He probably said, like, yeah, do an instrumental. Do your sort of classic intro going into a thrash song. Build on this Unforgiven thing, like the old and the new. That might have really been his contribution. And if that's the case, okay, I'd give it to him.
Yeah, for sure.
But in terms of a classic producer, the dude that's in it with them, like day to day, slagging it out, like Bob Rock, he didn't. It was definitely a different flavor.
Yeah, it is for sure. Well, and the main thing for me about this record that I don't care for, obviously, is the production. I'm not even mad that it's such a dry sounding record. I just don't love the quality of this thing. Don't get me wrong. I'll still put that thing on in the car and fucking crank it.
Yeah.
But it's just, Hetfield didn't double his vocal.
I know.
Everything's dry. There's like no room sound on the drums. It sounds like to me like a pretty good demo.
You know what I think does sound good on the record though, are the guitars.
The guitars do.
I do think the guitars are pretty killer. But you're right. Like
good too.
The bass tone is good. Like.
A lot of it is the drums and vocals.
Right. It's like the two stars of the band kind of like don't shine as much.
Yeah.
And it really would have been as simple as just doubling that vocal and putting a little bit of ketchup and mustard on it, man. A little bit of verb, a little bit of delay. Nothing crazy.
Totally. Just ketchup and mustard.
A little bit of sauce. A little bit of sauce.
Maybe a little Tapatio on there for some spice.
I always say that at sound check. I always ask for ketchup and mustard instead of reverb. which is what John Lennon used to do.
And then somebody from like the kitchen comes out with ketchup and mustard.
From catering.
This is what you want, right? Yeah.
Or they just literally throw a tomato at me.
Yeah.
Squashes on my guitar.
And a bunch of mustard seeds.
Okay, so this was their first time recording outside the Bay Area since the Black Album.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I wonder, I wonder if they because that's in L.A., right?
Where they did the Black Album?
No, the Sound City Studios.
Oh yeah, Sound City's in LA, and so was One by One Studios where they did the Black Album.
Yeah, I wonder if they were like going home every week, or if they like hunkered down, or I wonder kind of how they did that in terms of like the logistics of making the record there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they felt more comfortable being like close to home. At this point, they have kids, they're becoming family men, and didn't want to be gone for so long.
And I think
for 6 months.
And I think they probably did most of it at HQ. Although in the making of documentary, it's a lot of them in Sound City.
Yeah. There's a whole part in that one. You see the whole crew loading in all their stuff, and they definitely set up camp there for a while.
So with this whole bringing the old Metallica logo back, it really seems like the plan really was to sort of harken back to classic Metallica, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean that was one of the things I remember hearing about the record. I remember they released "The Day That Never Comes" as the first single, and I saw the old Metallica logo, and I remember like anticipating that, like, please use it, please use it. Is it that important? Maybe not, but for me, I felt it was. I was like, if they use the old Metallica logo, it's going to be a kick-ass record. I just, those two things kind of like coincided with each other,
I think it's important. I mean, I think it's just supporting the theme of the record, and I think that taking that all the way even to the artwork that's what we love about that band, is they give it 100%, man.
Yeah, totally.
Let me ask you this: what do you think about the album artwork? I like it.
I like it too. The only thing I remember initially thinking was I didn't like that the Metallica logo was kind of shiny looking, like chrome.
Yeah.
But again, that's a minor detail.
Put your face upon the chrome. Sorry.
It didn't like fully bum me out, but I remember seeing the cover. I think I expected it, because I heard it was going to be more thrashy. I expected the cover to be like a little darker in color, where it's the grave and it's like a white background. It's a little lighter, but I still dig it. I think it's a cool thing. And then they went on the tour have coffins hanging from the trusses.
Oh my God, I love
stuff
that.
Like that. It was so badass.
Love it. Burn your face upon the chrome. That's going to be a segment of just Dave doing like lyrics.
Yeah, totally.
Off to the new day's mist I run.
I wish you had a Dave Mustaine puppet when you did that. Are there any puppet makers that listen to the podcast? Make us a Torben and Dave puppet.
Oh my God.
God, we could have the funniest YouTube channel if we did that.
Yeah, we could. I was going to say though about their record covers. Obviously it's Record Store Day, which I know you and I are both big celebrants of that day.
Yeah.
And so I'm out here in Southern California. Actually, I don't know where I'm at in California. And we found one, but I was going through the metal section, and dude, some of these metal bands have some fucking brutal covers, dude. And Metallica's never really done that. Like Kill 'Em All is probably the most brutal one.
Yeah, I mean, some of them were like dark-ish, redlining.
But I'm thinking about
stuff,
like obituary record covers.
Oh, or like Cannibal Corpse.
Exactly.
And stuff like that.
We're just that's some strong flavor. It's like almost gross to look at.
Yeah, it is.
I like the Death Magnetic. I like the coffin that's kind of a magnet. Like I thought it was really cool. I like the title too. I think the title's pretty killer.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it was cool. It wasn't a song on the record. It was just from a lyric. From
My Apocalypse.
My Apocalypse.
It's My Apocalypse. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love the cover. I think it's super cool, and I love how they incorporate it into the tour. And the box set was like a coffin shaped thing.
One of the working titles for the record was Suicide and Redemption, which is why it ended up being the title of the instrumental.
Yeah, which would have been a cool album title.
I think so. Yeah.
How about this? Saint Anger, Suicide. This record, Redemption.
Okay, I like it. Connecting the dots.
That's my really cheesy explanation.
But they don't see it that way, like they...
Right, yeah.
They and a whole slew of Metallica fans, which we've been hearing from about the top 10 records, everyone's kind of found their own little place with that record. Most of the people would say at the bottom, but some people really love it, man. It's a head scratcher. It's a head scratcher, but whatever. Pizza.
You know what? I've heard people, speaking of their pizza, I've heard people like especially since Hardware came out, they're like, finally, like they're back to being a thrash band. I'll say this: there's more thrash stuff on Death Magnetic than there is on Hardware.
For sure. I mean, I think
for anyone to say that, like, oh, it's first thrash thing since Injustice for All. I think you skipped over Death Magnetic.
Death Magnetic is a straight up thrash record for sure.
It's great.
And like I only thought that Hardwired was because the first tune I heard was Hardwired, but I think that other than Hardwired, Moth, and Spit Out the Bone, that's to me those are only 3 thrash moments. I mean, it's kind of subjective, but whatever.
It is, yeah.
But Death Magnetic
Whatever,
is
who cares?
speed. It's straight up speed metal, and
Yeah, there's great stuff on there.
it's fucking awesome. All right, let's see.
I love this that a record store in France started selling the album 2 weeks early, resulting obviously in the album leaking.
Which they're pretty sensitive to that stuff.
They are, but Lars was quoted as saying that like it didn't bother him. At the time, he's like, "It's 2008. Like I think we got lucky, you know."
That it didn't leak sooner.
They didn't leak sooner, yeah. So it seemed like he, kind of let that just brush off his shoulder, like it wasn't a big deal.
Well, at least
but,
they were
the
actually
record still
selling it.
debu-
At least they were selling it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like being stolen or pirated.
Right. I think once it was sold, then it leaked and people started torrenting it and things like that.
Oh shit.
But dude, it still debuted at number 1. It's sold almost 500,000 copies in 3 days.
Great.
I mean, it's Metallica, of course it's going to, but
Great. Yeah.
yeah. And then the first single was the Day That Never Comes, which is obviously their classic track 4 ballad into thrash song.
Which is interesting for the first single. The first thing I saw was a live debut of Cyanide.
Yeah, that was the first one they did. They did a couple things. What were they called? It was like called like That New Song or whatever, where they just kind of played an instrumental thing, and there was riffs from certain songs from this record. I think maybe just to get fans excited or something. But yeah, Cyanide was the first official live premiere, and then followed by the Day That Never Comes.
It's an interesting first single. I mean, I get it, but you would think they would have like maybe gone with something faster for the first single.
Yeah, maybe End of the Line or something. But I mean, it's still rad. I mean, it's the same idea as when they released One. I mean, that was the same kind of formula, ballad into a fast part.
Right.
And that was the first single off that. So, did you actually hear it was called the world premiere Death Magnetic with Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins?
I
Foo
didn't.
Fighters?
I wish I would have, because that sounds so fun.
Dude, it's on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube.
Okay.
And I believe there might be video. I haven't watched it in a while, but if those listening have not heard that, it's so fun to listen to because it's Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins hearing this for the first time.
And I'm guessing they're buds and they're big fans, right?
Yeah, totally. And they're in HQ and there's like fans sitting around and stuff. And they're just listening to the new record. It's really cool.
Wow.
And there's parts where like Taylor, there's like a super fast, thrashy drum part, and like Taylor Hawkins says to Lars something about, he's like, "Man, how did you get through that kind of stuff?" And he goes, "A lot of Advil."
Advil?
Just to loosen his blood up or something, thin his blood
Or
out.
is just really sore from like
Just sore,
take
yeah.
after take? So the whole,
But it's cool.
So the whole band's there with Dave and Taylor?
Yeah,
And,
the
and
whole
then
band's there.
fans?
And some fans, and they're just sitting there hanging out listening to the record, and they broadcast it on like 175 radio stations in U.S. and Canada.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah, ask me.
Did Rick Rubin's lazy ass make it there?
I don't think so.
He couldn't even fucking make that thing.
I know. He could have been there. I haven't watched it in a couple years, so maybe he was sitting there in the background, hovering over,
Laying on a couch on his phone.
Totally.
The only scene he's in that documentary, he's literally laying on a couch on
Yeah.
his fucking phone.
Yeah. What's the sound scan up to License to Ill? But if you guys are listening and you haven't heard that, it's on. You can find it on YouTube. It's the world premiere Death Magnetic, and it's really, really entertaining to listen to.
Very cool. I'm going to check that out tonight.
Yeah, it's awesome. Also, during the I guess it was even during the touring cycle of Death Magnetic, this is also when they released Guitar Hero Metallica, which I own, and I also own a Guitar Hero Explorer controller.
So cool, man.
Which we've never played together. Maybe should we do that next time?
I've never played it. I don't have any way to play video games.
Yeah, I was into I had Nintendo, Super Nintendo.
I had all that, yeah.
And 64, and then I stopped at PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think the last game I bought was Guitar Hero Metallica, and then my wife for my birthday one year got me an Explorer controller.
God, is it like white?
It's black.
God, it's so cool.
I need to put a piece of tape on it up there on the end and have it say "more beer
Or
eat fuck" or something.
Yeah. I need a snake bite Guitar Hero guitar.
Totally. But no, it was cool. So before Guitar Hero Metallica came out, they released all of Death Magnetic, the whole record, as playable songs.
Wow.
On I think it was Guitar Hero 3, I think, like Legends of Rock or whatever it was called. But you could, as a user, you could download that whole record and play it. And then Guitar Hero Metallica came out, where they actually went in and to develop the video game, put those like blue suits on with all the ball things on them. There's actually footage of Lars not remembering how to do the intro to Shortest Straw.
Okay.
It's hilarious because he's like, what did I do in the studio? He can't figure it out.
Well, did they put them all in Rob so they could just accurately simulate the old crab walk?
Oh yeah, no, there's crab walking in that game.
For real?
There is, yeah. and I need to play it again, but I think you can unlock like Cliff Burton and stuff.
What? That's so fucking cool,
dude. It's really fun, man. We should play it sometime.
I don't have the game and I've never played it, but I am aware, kind of like culturally, how significant it is. And the thing that I love about it, I'm sure it's one of the reasons that they jumped on doing it, is because it just introduced their music to this whole new generation.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's such a cool way to have kids interact with music again.
Oh yeah, and then on that, so they had the Death Magnetic content you could download, and then on the official game there was 28 Metallica songs, and then a bunch of other songs that they chose that they're influenced by, like the Thin Lizzy song is on there, things like that.
The only time I ever played Guitar Hero is like I had some like young, this is a long, like 10 years ago or whatever. I had a young niece and nephew who were playing it, and they were like, 6 years old, but were like murdering on this thing, right?
Yeah,
so
totally.
They're like, Uncle Clint, he can play or whatever. They give it to me. And I just totally sucked at it, and they were giving me a hard time. They were seriously like, had a disgusted look on their face. They were like, "You suck at this." I was like, "Listen, motherfuckers, I'm good at this in real life.
I can do real good. I'm
I
a
play
real guitar hero.
guitar. Take your video game, dudes. You little mean little bullies."
Well, it's a good time. We'll have to play it sometime.
I'd love to. Is it hard to learn how to do? Is it tough?
You can start on easy mode.
I would. That's what I would do.
I'll go to expert.
Like, does it have like Dyer's Eve on it and stuff?
I think Dyer's Eve is on there too. Yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot of good stuff on there.
Sounds
man.
really
it's so fun. It's really fun.
What console is it on?
I have it on PS2. I still have that thing. I think it was on PS3, Xbox.
Okay. It's like it can be on any console. Okay. It's not like a
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I've got it, man. Next time we're both in town together, we will partake.
Which I don't think is going to be ever again in 2017.
Yeah, I think I think every episode from now on is going to be remotely recorded.
Wow.
But so as they released this, they did a surprise show at South by Southwest, March 20th, 2009, to promote Guitar Hero, and this was all in the middle of the World Magnetic Tour.
Cool.
And that tour started October 21st, 2008 in Arizona and went until November 21st, 2010.
Yeah, I think this was the first time they kind of started doing the just take 2 years to do the tour and like go, like the go home more of that the thing that James talks about, like being balanced and healthy, mind, body, spirit stuff.
Yep.
I think this is kind of where they really learned how to do that.
What's crazy is that this tour was the most successful tour they had.
Even more than the Black Album. That's crazy.
Yeah. I printed out some stuff here. It grossed roughly $217.2 million, the 18th highest grossing tour of all time.
Unbelievable.
I mean, this also might be from a few years ago, so maybe like the Guns tour recently has gone above that. But for Metallica, that's pretty crazy. It was their most successful tour.
Was it and I'm sorry to our fans who may give us a hard time for this, I don't know, but was it a stadium tour or was it arenas? Do we know?
I think it was mostly arenas. When I saw him, it was on this tour and it was an arena.
Is this when you saw him in Australia?
Yeah, in Brisbane. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I wish I could have seen this tour, man. I mean, I've seen like the DVDs of it and stuff, but I think the band was really kicking ass at this time.
They did. The show I saw was awesome. They were in good top shape.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, I think that kind of winds up our facts. There's a few I had down here, but we've already kind of talked about them, like the record's 2 times platinum, the sound quality, things like that. The only thing I'll comment on the sound quality was everything I read when that came out was that basically during tracking and mixing, everything was quote unquote brick walled. Like when it went to mastering, there was no room for the mastering engineer to like make any improvements. So the mastering he did caused like digital clipping, and like the original one didn't really sound that good. You could hear like little kind of sounds happening.
Yeah, it was kind of a big deal at the time, right?
Big deal, but thankful to the Metallica community. When they and how it works with Guitar Hero is when songs get sent in for something like that, they have to be unmastered. They have to be remastered for a video game format.
Okay.
So people started ripping those from Guitar Hero and remastering them themselves.
Okay.
I've actually downloaded a few remasters from fans, and some of them sound really good.
Right, but didn't they solve it themselves too? So like, if you go buy Death Magnetic today off iTunes, they remastered it to solve. They've officially addressed this issue, right?
Yeah, they did a remaster for iTunes
because the version I've been listening to on my phone, I got a new phone and I actually had to get a new version of it. I mean, it sounds okay to me. There's like production elements like James's vocal that I don't dig, but in terms of like clipping and mastering, I don't really hear a problem.
No, I mean the original one. I think the one I originally purchased on iTunes. I mean, it's on my hard drive now, and I can still hear it.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay.
But whatever. It's still a great record. We love it.
Yeah.
And this brings us right into a track by track.
Let's do it. You want to do a track by track?
Yeah.
Da 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 da.
As opposed to what?
I don't know.
As opposed to word by word. That'd be a long
episode.
Let's
take the album word by word. All right, you start it.
Let's take this line by line.
So we mentioned this before. They kind of do the in true form to referencing themselves. They do the sort of fight fire with fire, blackened. What's the one I'm leaving off? Oh my god, battery. Intro. It's probably my least favorite of all those intros, but I still like it.
I like it too.
I like the heartbeat.
Yeah, the heartbeat's cool, and they also use that in the live show when I saw them.
Yeah, they had the track.
Intro music.
Yeah,
had a track going. You hear the gung gung.
Which that's pretty exciting, and I do like that the guitar kind of sounds creepy. It's got that weird like flanger on it.
Yeah, totally. No, I think there's a good like tension and like eeriness in that thing before it comes in with like the big hits.
That's true. I dig it. I think it's, and then of course That Was Just Your Life. That riff is so killer.
Oh, it's great.
It sets a good tone.
Classic Hetfield.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. Like, it sets a great tone for the record. Like, I was just so stoked when that first riff hit, man.
Oh yeah,
I was just like, oh my god, they're back.
Oh, dude, I mean, even when the first single came out, It Never Comes, even just that, I was like, thank God it's not Saint Anger.
Yeah, well,
because this is kind of their comeback record.
I agree, and like I'm partial to their ballads because I remember hearing Day Never Comes also, and then when it got to that end thing, it was a total, to me, that triplet thing they do is a total homage to One.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like we're so good at doing that. It sounds just like the record.
We're really good. I'll bet everyone listening thought we just inserted a clip from the song.
Like, oh my god, was that Death Magnetic?
That was pretty good.
Okay,
dude, I love the chorus on this song,
dude.
The chord progression, Hetfield's melody, it's so good.
I love that I blind my eyes section. Like, I blind my eyes too. You know, like,
oh yeah.
I was like, to me, when I first heard that, I thought, man, I don't think I've ever heard them sound like that. There's like, that's just such a cool thing. I will say that, like, the words feel really fast, and it feels like he's having a hard time singing it. I mean, I've heard him say in interviews that it was a really hard one to cut, but I can hear that he's wordy. I can hear that it's uncomfortable. So that would be my only thing. Like, the way they do the bridge, like a touch from hell to feel how hot. Yeah. I wish they would have done all the verses like that because it lets it breathe a little bit.
Yeah, it totally does. Yeah,
instead of papu 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 papu.
He crams a lot in there.
And I don't. Yeah, and I think the lyrics kind of suffer up for it too because he's having to, like, he really wanted it to be on the beat, you know? And I get it from a composing standpoint, but the bridge is basically a third verse, but he sings the melody different, and it's more melodic, and it just feels...
That's one of my favorite parts.
The bridge? Me too.
Yeah,
but the reason is because it's just basically a verse,
yeah,
but it's not that spitty, like, on the beat thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But that is literally my only qualms with this song. This song kicks ass. I'm so glad they wrote it. It's definitely in my top 20. I'll say it's in my top 20.
Yeah, for sure. All right, End of the Line.
Love it.
Another great one. This one really kind of showcasing Trujillo at the beginning.
Yep, which is great.
That good bass part, yeah.
I love the groove. It sounds like some Tool stuff from Lateralis. I remember thinking that. Like, I remember thinking at the time, like, I wonder if they listen to Tool because the groove rock of it sounds like a Tool track.
Yeah, for sure. Now, like you said before, the first 5 tracks. I mean, this is one of my favorites of the first 5.
Me too, bro. Love it.
Yeah, bro. See you next week. I went all the way back to the
God, you just really harkened back there, much like Metallica did with this record.
Exactly. That was my point.
Do you have anything to say about anything else? I have something else to say about this song.
I don't really have much negative to say about this song.
I don't either. I don't have anything negative to say about it.
I think the verses are my favorite part in this song. It reminds me of very, very classic Metallica. Like, I don't know if you can hear my dog barking. But
I can. How's your dog doing, by the way?
Okay.
I think our listeners would like an update on that.
Yeah, my dog had to have TPLO surgery, which is basically like you tore your ACL. And it sucks because he has to have his knee cut open, and they cut part of the bone and put in a plate. So my poor dog has his whole leg shaved. He looks all sexy. And he's a Malamute, so his fur is like a husky almost. So he's doing good. He just got his cone off yesterday and his stitches out.
His cone, did he have a cone of shame?
He had a cone of shame, but we're on the road to recovery.
That's good, man. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, he's good. He just has to be kind of like pent up in the bedroom for like 3 months because he can't run until like September or something crazy.
Sounds just like me, except I can't run until forever happens.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say
I'll start running next in 2019.
I'll start running in my next life as a runner.
Yeah, perfect.
I do want to say I think the only kind of load reload hearkening moment is in the end of the line. That slow like, drop the hourglass of time. Spilling sand, we will not find.
I love that part.
It has this cool effect on his vocal, and it sounds like Load Reload, which everyone who listens to our fucking show knows that's my stuff. So
right.
I have nothing bad to say about this song. This is one of my favorite songs on the record, for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right, Broken, Beaten, Scarred.
I like all the Tom stuff at the top. I mean, I think this is another barn burner, man. Out of the gate, dude, these songs are just fucking killing.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't dig the... I mean... Grammatically, it's wrong to say what don't kill you will make you more strong, right? It's stronger.
Hey, Clint, what don't kill you will make you more strong?
And so that's always bothered me. And then I
was going to bring that up too. That's my least favorite lyric on this one.
Because it's not great. And then not only is it not great, they fucking repeat it a lot. What don't kill you make you more strong. It's like, let's sing that 25 times.
I love the rise fall part, like with the chords.
I agree.
No, before the what won't kill you, the rising down again. That whole thing.
I know. Yeah.
Is so killer.
I know.
And then,
it really
what
is.
Don't kill you, make you more strong.
I know. And if you go
I don't love that.
And and I'm not slagging on Rob, but he's having to carry those vocals live, and it's not great.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's too repetitive. But I think the melodies are great. I think the song kicks ass, and it's a great little solo from old Kirk Hammett.
Oh yeah, no, we haven't even discussed that yet. I mean, Kirk really, I feel, had some pent up anger from Saint Anger when he wasn't allowed to solo, basically, and he came in strong on this record. There's a lot of good stuff.
I agree, man. I just revisiting it all this week, I've been real impressed, especially like right on the heels of our Kirk episode where we aired our grievances about Hardwired. It was nice to hear him sounding really strong.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And if that one little lyric on this song is the worst part about it, we're still in good shape.
I totally agree. And it doesn't make sense, but it kind of works well in the song phonetically, and maybe they were going for more of a feeling than like being grammar teachers, and I think that's cool too.
Yeah. He could have said, "What don't kill you make you more stronger."
I still wouldn't like it.
I wouldn't like that either.
What don't kill you make you more strong. Hello.
Torben could have been the chorus.
Hello, grammar.
Hello, English teacher. All right, track 4, which could be one of my favorites on this record. Day That Never Comes.
I think pound for pound, it's the best song on the record.
Yeah, I mean, everything from Hetfield's intro, it's real creepy sounding, but very beautiful at the same time. Kirk does that cool octave thing over it.
I think there's a really cool, in true form, classic Metallica, cool little Kirk solo over it. That's melodic and interesting, kind of takes you on a journey.
Yeah. No, this is good. I mean, Hetfield's vocals I love on this song. He does a good, like, his kind of softer vocals on the verses and stuff. My favorite line is you hear that good classic Hetfield growl. I think it's on the second verse where he says, "God'll make them pay."
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. There's a "yeah" in that one.
Yeah, it is one of those songs when I hear it, I do think, man, a little bit of ketchup and mustard on that vocal would have really sent it over the top. Dude.
Yeah, ketchup and mustard all the way.
Because it is bone dry.
It's very dry. Again, that's my biggest complaint about the whole record is it sounds so dry like I said, it sounds like a really good demo.
But I mean, you know, like most Metallica fans, I love so many different facets of the band and what they do. But I do have a soft spot for, like, I think James has got a great voice, and I like it when he does the more delicate thing.
Yeah, totally.
And it is kind of that Fade to Black thing, but unlike Fade to Black, I really do like that this chorus has a lyric. Like, there is a chorus to this song, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And I love that.
The chorus is awesome.
I love that Maybe I'm Amazed. I call it the Maybe I'm Amazed line when it's like, that like cool walk up they do.
Oh, yeah. And that's the whole transition into the thrashy ending.
Well, they do it after the... I choose bop bops instead of dot dots. Like, you know, you can choose one. God damn it.
That was a nice clip we just inserted from the actual record. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything bad to say about the song.
I think that back half, dude, is so slamming, man.
I hope they start playing it live again.
Yeah, I had some facts about that for more for the deep cuts, but are they not playing it much these days? I guess not.
They're not playing much from this whole album.
God, what?
I don't know. I mean, I hope they haven't written it off like they did Saint Anger.
Well, I mean, this record is fucking night and day from that
of course,
catastrophe.
Of course. Yeah.
Some people are like on the forums are like, man, they need to bring Frantic back. They need to bring Saint Anger. I'm like, no, they don't. Bring All Nightmare Long back, motherfucker.
Exactly.
Bring Into the Line into the fold here.
I mean, speaking of All Nightmare Long, that's the next track on the record, and that's the one you text me about. Would you say All Nightmare Long? Yeah.
I think I did all caps. Whoa.
Yeah.
Because that, man, it's one of the ones I never.
Favorite.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead. No, you hang up.
Okay.
No, you hang up.
You hang up first. This is probably my favorite chorus on the record.
It's strong, man. I mean, the riffs in this one, like, here was my thought. Like, I listened to it like 6 times in a row because I was just loving it. There's a lot to love too. It's very complicated and long, but it's like a straight up Slayer song, dude. This is like them kind of putting on that Slayer flavor.
Yeah.
You know what the working title for the song was?
Tell me. Forgot.
Flamingo.
Flamingo.
It's like the most brutal. I think this is the most brutal song on the record, by the way.
They have working titles for like most of the songs, and it's just like something funny. Usually,
yeah.
You know? But what if they left it at? The track after The Day Never Comes is called Flamingo.
Flamingo. There's another great little James moment in the first chorus. He does, "Luck runs out."
I love that crap.
I do too, dude. But God, the riffs are so killer. It's like that great tremolo picking. I love hearing those the right hand on those dudes. Let me ask you this:
I know.
Did Kirk play rhythm on this record, or did James do it? Do we know? Did they take it that far back?
I feel like he does that most of the time, though. I mean, like, you know, you watch any stuff that they put in or on YouTube or whatever, you know, or on Metallica TV or whatever, and you mostly. Whenever Kirk's in there, you just see him doing lead stuff, overdubbing lead stuff.
Well, then he's definitely using Kirk's gear because you can hear, you know, whatever's panned right. It sounds like Kirk's tone.
Yeah, and he might have done a lot of rhythm on this record. I always assume James does most of it.
You know, you're right. I didn't see much of it in that doc, but
yeah,
this song really showcases how well this song to me is kind of the Disposable Heroes of Death Magnetic.
Yeah,
Just the right hand action. Here's Lars claims, which by the way, they do like a track by track. There's like 3 minutes long on the Metallica fan page of this whole record. Right. It's really cool. And Lars claims, which we have a listener, I think his name is Vinny, who's just obsessed with the Presidio sessions. He's like convinced, he's convinced that there's like a record in there that's really special and cool. And, maybe there is. We're going to do a whole episode on that. But Lars has claimed that this was the only thing left over from those sessions, were like the bits and pieces that became song? All Nightmare Long. He said these go all the way back to Saint Anger.
God, I'm glad they saved it.
Yeah, gosh, this song wouldn't fit on that record. It's too good.
It's way too good. And if this was leftover, I would not want to hear what the origins of it were with that production from Saint Anger.
Oh my God, with that tone.
Ugh,
yucky.
King. That was the Saint Anger snare, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, we all know. We know.
If you didn't pick up on that one.
I do have a stat about this one. This one was performed 103 times. Last time they played it, 2015.
Oh, good. Okay. So it's it's been somewhat recent.
They probably played it at the show you went to. Do you remember?
I believe they did.
Okay.
Yeah, they did like 4. I believe I have to go back and look at the set list online, but I believe there was 4 or 5, 4 songs from this record.
I mean, it's like if they're not playing these tunes anymore, all you folks out there who got to catch that tour, I know some of you are just insane Metallica fans, probably saw like 40 shows, but it seems like, man, that was a good time to go see them because they're not bringing these tunes out, dude.
They need to. They really need to.
Well, you know what one of the problems is, and I put quotes over problems. It's Hardwired kicks so much ass. They're just playing a ton of tunes off of it.
It does. I mean, yeah, it's tough to compete. I mean, but I mean, like the next track, I would love to hear live more Cyanide.
Yeah, I like Cyanide.
I do. I really like the song.
It's in our. It made our intro. It's part of our beloved.
That's right. Yeah.
Collage of riffs.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of cool riffs in this one. There's a few little parts that, like, I don't love the Robert part, like do 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 or whatever it is. You know.
Oh,
like,
I love it. You don't like that?
You like it? I don't know. I
What
just kinda
bothers
wish it
you?
would go. I don't know. It's just something to me that seems like if I was the producer, I'd be like, oh, let's just cut that out and go straight into.
Right.
I don't know. That's just personal preference.
But you know those Metallica dudes. I mean, they love adding parts into shit.
They do. Yeah.
This is a long ass record, man.
It's very long.
The shortest song is My
I
Apocalypse.
think
It's like
that
6 minutes long.
Even when Suicide Redemption might be the longest instrumental. It's like almost 10 minutes.
You there? Did I lose
crazy.
you?
I see you.
Okay, we're here.
We're still good. We're recording. All right.
Okay.
We won't edit this out, everybody. You can listen to our flaws.
I think this is one of the best choruses on the record. Oh, and there was a cool story about the song. So the genesis of the song is the band together went to see the Cult at the Fillmore because they're like friends with the Cult. They've toured with them and stuff.
Right.
So they kind of went to say hi. But James said, we really just went to say hi to him, but we kind of decided to stay because we were just digging the show, and it like charged him up and inspired him. So they went back to HQ after the Fillmore and together wrote what kind of became Cyanide.
That's pretty cool.
Which is kind of,
awesome.
I like the kind of Hard Day's Night image of like them all like living at HQ, like going to shows together, living there. Fucking Rob slides down a fireman's pole into the crab walk position,
skipping down the street. Yeah. Somebody jumps and clicks her heels together.
Kirk's just fucking making veggie pancakes and eggs in the kitchen. Veggie pancakes. Yeah, you gotta get the meat out of the bread and the. Okay.
That's right. Dude, moving on. My second favorite in the Unforgiven series, the Unforgiven 3.
Yeah, it's my third, but I love it. I love
the piano intro.
Me too.
You know what? There's some stuff in there that, like, I mean, I know this was all after Michael Kamen died, but some of the string stuff on this song, I mean, it sounds like he did it. It's like in his kind of that vein that he did on S&M.
He just composed it from
so,
heaven, bro.
I mean, that's right, man. He totally did.
Is it the only appearance of a piano on a Metallica record?
Good question.
Yeah, I don't know the answer. Maybe some of our listeners do, but I think it is.
It might be, yeah.
I mean, what else would piano be? Like Orion or something, maybe?
No, definitely not. It's, I mean, hey, a hurdy-gurdy made it on before a piano.
No, that's true. If it was going to be something, it'd probably be Load and Reload. There's not one on Mama Said. I don't know. This might be it.
If there is, it's one of those things that I just maybe has gone unnoticed when I've listened to other records. But all that to say, I mean, the piano intro on this is really cool, and I love the mood it sets for the song.
Well, James said that when he was composing that intro, that he was inspired by Ennio Morricone.
Oh, very cool.
That was kind of what he was like reaching for. They've only played it 7 times, dude.
Dude, I would love to hear this one. I would love to hear this one on another S&M record.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that for sure.
We'll do that one day. Yeah, it's kind of a what if S&M 2.
The debut of it though is on Metallica.com. If you go to like, you can look at every song, like kind of stats on songs. Man, Metallica.com is such an amazing resource, dude.
It's so good, yeah.
And they have the debut performance of it, and the whole intro is like a track, and all the lights are out. And then kind of that, like going back to Unforgiven 1, the verses are real heavy, right? The chorus gets real mellow. And I think the lyric is killer, dude. Like the whole like Lost at Sea vibe.
Yeah.
Man, it's
they did a great job for. I mean, because I do remember rolling my eyes when I finally got the record, and before I heard it, seeing Unforgiven 3, and I was like, oh, seriously, another one? Because
Yeah.
at the time, I wasn't a huge fan of Load and Reload, and when they did Unforgiven 2, I was kind of like, boring. Back then, but so I saw that, and I was like, oh, God, is this going to suck? And then I remember listening to it going, damn, this is really good.
Yeah.
It's a great track, man.
Imagine my surprise when I realized it actually had lyrics and vocals.
Oh, yeah, wasn't this the instrumental?
Once upon a time, not long ago, I thought it was, yes.
Yeah.
I admit it, whatever. Judas Kiss, what do you think?
I love Judas Kiss. Not one of my favorites on the record. I'm not surprised it's later in the record, but I do like it. There's a lot of cool riffs in there. I like that.
I like it. Yeah, I think it's in the. It's a contender for strongest lyric on the record. Yeah,
lyrics are good.
And I love the "So What Now, Where Go I" part. I love that melody. I kind of wish that they had maybe fleshed that out more. Because before it gets back into just thrashy chugga chugga stuff. Because that "So What Now, Where Go I" like kind of it gets real melodic and it sounds like territory they don't hang in a lot.
Yeah, and there's a lot of just cool like odd time signature stuff in this one. Like they kind of went into that territory a little bit where you're not necessarily snapping your fingers like to this groove. They do it's I guess dabbles in a little bit of kind of tech metal or something, but
dude, just that "So What Now, Where Go I" I just love that part.
Oh yeah, that's great. That's definitely a Hetfield highlight on this song for sure.
And I love that after the solo, that lyric, Judas lives, recite this vow, I've become your new god now. It's like, and then into another solo.
Line. Totally. That's so good.
And the solo is like nice and creepy. I think Kirk did a good job like matching the solo to the subject matter. It's a song about betrayal and these heavy themes about Judas and
I mean, again, we got our Kirk Hammett back on this.
We got our boy back. We miss him.
Yeah, man.
Come back to us, Kirk.
You're our boy.
Come back to us, homie.
Suicide Redemption.
Man, it's cool, dude. I like it.
It's long.
It's long.
It's real long.
It's about 10 minutes long.
Yeah, and there's a lot of cool stuff in it, but it's my least favorite instrumental the band's done.
Yeah, me too.
I don't hate it by any means, but it just goes on for so long, and there's nothing in it. Like there's cool riffs from time to time, but there's the composition of it in comparison to Live Is to Die or Orion. It just I get a little lost in this one,
I would say this might be the only moment in the record where I get kind of bored.
Yeah. If there was one song I have frequently skipped, it's this one.
But man, the live debut of it's on the Metallica website, and they've only played it twice, by the way. They did it like in 2009 in July, and then they did it for the 30th anniversary shows in 2011.
That's right, yeah.
But in the one where they debut it, it's worth watching for all of you out there because James is so stoked. He's loving it, man. And then James does that second solo.
Yep,
which is like, it's so fucking good. It's
also like a vocal break for him too during the show. He's probably like, I don't have to sing.
I don't think that's why he's looking so happy, but yeah,
I know. But it's stuck. I mean, how it is. We've been on tour long enough where you're in a band and you're playing a new song for the first time. It's so exciting.
Yeah, and like they land this one moment towards the end, which I'm like you, I get real bogged. Like I don't know which riff is what, but by the end they kind of land this one thing together, and James is just he just looks like a kid, man. I love seeing James get excited. It's
for sure.
It's contagious. I did think this was funny. So they were going to call Kirk's idea for a song title for the song was Planet Conversations.
Clint, hello. There you are. You're back.
Hey, can you hear me?
I lost you.
Okay, you got me back.
All right, we're back. We're good.
So Kirk's idea for song title for this song, this is James talking about it, was Planet Conversations. And James is like, that's just so Kirk.
We should have a segment called That's So Kirk.
Hello, Kirk. Planet Conversations.
Welcome to That's So Kirk.
Welcome to Planet Conversations with Kirk Womet.
With Kirk Womet.
I agree. I think it's the kind of one moment. And the thing is, the song kicks ass. It's just, it really could have been a bit shorter.
I mean, even if it was, by 2 or 3 minutes. I think my attention would have been held a lot longer.
I agree. I think it's the longest instrumental, right? No, the other ones are that long.
It's
10 minutes.
10 minutes, man. That's a long song.
God damn.
I don't think there's anything that hits 10 minutes on Justice. I think the song on Justice for All is like 9 something.
I mean, to me, Suicide and Redemption is super impressive. So like,
Yeah,
much
totally.
respect to those dudes for creating that thing and performing it. I mean, hats off, but it's a bit of it's a track skipper, to be honest with you.
Yeah, for sure. But we are speaking of redemption. My Apocalypse being the last track is so fucking kick ass.
Such a kick you in the ass thrash, and it's shorter, like 5 minutes. It's them at their old school sort of Damage Inc. best.
Oh yeah, dude, the pre-chorus, is that kind of Damage Inc. What's the lyric? Fear my name into the nation. Like, it's just fucking Hetfield screaming his ass off into the mic in the studio, and it's so good.
I agree. It's kind of a no-brainer. Like, it's just a no-brainer, badass Metallica in their thrash form, kicking
Another
ass.
one I would love to hear live more.
They only played it 37 times, and the last time was at one of those 30th anniversary shows, 2011.
Yeah. Dudes, James, I know you're listening. Put it back in the set, man.
What's crazy, too, is I think when they were playing it a little bit, they were opening with it.
Which is awesome.
That's so killer.
It's a hell of an intro to this show.
It's kind of like how they're opening up with Hardwired now.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great one. There's no crescendo into the song. It's just like right out of the gate.
Yeah, it's in and out. Easy,
It's
simple.
Yeah. Just a straight kick-ass Metallica song. Love it.
That's it. We did it.
Yeah, we did it. We made it, guys. Well, we obviously would love to hear your thoughts on Death Magnetic, and we'll read some stuff on a future episode. Yeah, what do you think? Do you love the record? Do you hate the record? Are you like us? You're kind of in the middle, and do you appreciate it now that you're older? I don't know. Let us know. metalupyourpodcastshow@gmail.com.
And you can find us at all the other crap.
Oh, really?
All
I'm
the
losing
Twitter
again?
and the crap. You know where it is. You know where to find
Hello?
it.
There you are. Hi. I lost you just for a second.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, good
I
thing
think
we're
now
here at the end.
I think the internet gods are wanting us to cool it.
I was just saying,
Do you wanna-
we're on the Twitter and then we're on Facebook and Instagram. Just look
Hang
up.
on. I think we need to do this while you say that.
Uh-oh. Play a little something for me, Ethan.
Actually, let's keep it. Hang on. I got to reposition here.
Can you do
See
something
if I
for
remember how to play it. See if I remember how to do this one. I'll do. We'll keep it.
Are you doing
Death
da-da-da-da-da-da-da?
Wait. Okay, I got it now.
Thank you for listening to Metal Up Your Podcast. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Instagram. The most direct place to get in touch with us is metalupyourpodcastshow@gmail.com. And for those of you who want to support the show, please go visit patreon.com/metalupyourpodcast. And lastly, I'll say, if you guys can just take a few moments and go and leave us a positive review on iTunes, it really goes a long way to helping us get some new ears for the show. We are grateful for every each one of you. If we could, we'd give you all a hug and a big kiss. And maybe we'll see you out on the road sometime soon. Until
Hope
then,
so.
Metal Up Your Podcast.
See you next time.
Peace.
If you were our advisor, what would you say? Then I would say delete that.